Hello friends, this is Misha Schuler in the backyard at Wild Carrot Herbs in Portland, Maine, and there's a bee on the calendula. This is either a Calendula officinalis or Calendula resina, I'm not sure which. It comes in incredible colors, these vibrant orange, sometimes it's yellow. It's just lovely. So many of the resinous qualities, what makes this plant as an antimicrobial, can be found just here along the calyx, which are the parts of the plant that are curled around the blossoms. So this part right here, actually, we can see is the calyx. It closes around the flowers before the flowers open. It's this wonderful sticky quality, and that's where the resins live on this plant. And the resins have antifungal properties. They're frequently mixed in olive oil for supporting vaginal healing and yeast infection, but could also be supportive on nipples, postpartum during breast or chest feeding. And additionally, calendula has a quality that stimulates the granulosa cells of the epithelial tissue. So the epithelial tissue is the first layer of skin. So for healing a sunburn, healing an abrasion, I wouldn't put an oil directly on a deep cut, but for something that's like, if somebody's like wiped out on a bicycle and it's a little bit of a skim along, I would be willing to put an oil on that. But also internally inside the body, any place where calendula tea touches the length of the mucosal membrane, we will see regeneration of skin cells. It's so wonderful for healing. So I might think of this for ulcers in the stomach, or if we need regeneration of cells in the small intestine. Although I can't say how supportive it would be for the small intestine. I might be thinking of marshmallow leaf or root for the small intestine to work more as a mucilage covering over the area. And I might include some calendula to stimulate the actual regenerative properties. But I don't know how much of an impact it has once we get out of the esophageal area and the stomach. I do think of this as a specific for gastric reflux in combination with chamomile and meadowsweet. And then we also know that calendula has a strong affinity with the lymph. And the part of the plant that has more affinity for the lymph is actually the leaves. And we don't talk about that so much at least I haven't heard many people speaking about this in North America. I actually learned about this from a friend in California, Bluebird Herbals, Sonia Boyton. This is more of the European tradition that includes the leaves of calendula as part of the lymphatic remedy. And the leaves are, they don't really have the stickiness, but you can tell that there's quite a lot of moisture in them. And calendula will help to drain lymph, especially behind the ears. Well, there's a lot of competing sounds right now, huh? Puppies, airplanes. Supports the lymph behind the ears. And so if there's a little person who's had reoccurring ear infections and there's congestion behind the ears, I'd be strongly thinking about calendula. You could use calendula flower as well, as leaf. I just think that the leaf has a little bit more of the lymphatic action. Flower certainly has it. I've worked with one client who, at the time was a woman in her mid-30s. She'd had, I don't quite know precisely what was going on, but she had a true pain in her inguinal gland, which is right around, when you put up your leg, it's like right in that groin area, in the bend there, it's the lymph there, the inguinal glands. and she had a really enlarged lymph that was incredibly painful. And I'd had calendula tea from, I think maybe the day before, from an herb class that I hadn't finished straining out and composting. And I thought, oh my gosh, this would be the perfect thing for her. It is a specific for quote unquote where the sun don't shine. That's a Matthew Wood indication for the, for the whole pelvic area and moving lymph in that area. And I brought out the strong concentrated tea, which is quite bitter. And she drank it. And about 10 minutes later, she said, oh my gosh, I don't have that lymph node. Like, that lymph node's not swollen anymore. It made such a tremendous difference for her so rapidly. It was very, very exciting. And with that, I wish you a tremendous day. Thanks for being here. Until the next time.